You will be tried still before you die. Join me!
It's time, Mother.
The Eminence requested a sitting of the Hall.
I have a few matters I'd like to raise before the Hall myself.
What if the others are working with Liandrin?
We are ready, Ivon.
Mother has deemed this a sitting sealed to the Hall. Liandrin Seat will speak for the Reds today, but you will not hear her. Attend you all. She comes.
Liandrin Seat, do you know why I have called you here today?
Never courted your favor. I accuse you, Mother, of breaking Tower custom and law.
Then continue, daughter.
A month ago, Mother called 13 sisters to Kyrian for some unknown purpose. In the chaos that followed, as the city burned, Mother had met Amyrlin Seat and a young man, Rand al-Thor, who could channel, who proclaimed himself Dragon Reborn in Falm. Mother willingly let him escape. The man, duty-bound to cage and control.
Liandrin Garale can break the 3 oaths. I know what most women in this hall do not. You are a dark friend.
This is madness. You have no proof.
The Hall calls Nynaeve Elmira, whom Liandrin kidnapped and sold to the Sanche.
I tried.
You will be tried still. Give up every member of the Black Ajah before you die.
You're right. Join me!
Siuan Sanche's fall from the Amyrlin Seat didn't end with escape. It began with a mission. Fleeing Tar Valon in rags, gentled and hunted, she could have hidden. She could have surrendered to grief or anger. Instead, she did what she'd always done. She built. Within weeks of reaching Salidar, the rebel Aes Sedai stronghold, Siuan sought out Gareth Bryne, not just a legendary warder and military commander, but an old ally bound to her by trust forged in quieter days. Their partnership wasn't born of desperation. It was a calculated union of complementary genius. Siuan had the mind of a spy master, the ability to weave secrets into a network. Bryne had the loyalty of soldiers, the logistical skill to move agents unseen, and the credibility to open doors. Siuan, now a deposed, powerless former Amyrlin, could not. Together, they set about rebuilding what the White Tower had stripped from her eyes and ears. The intelligence network that had once made her the Tower's unseen hand. This wasn't a mere restoration, though. It was a reinvention, leaner, faster, and free from the Tower's bureaucratic chains. Siuan's greatest strength as a recruiter was her refusal to play by the White Tower's rules. Where the Tower valued channeling strength, pedigree, or Ajah loyalty, Siuan valued one thing: utility. She scoured Salidar and the surrounding villages for talent others overlooked. Ordinary people with extraordinary skills, bound not by oaths to the Tower, but by debt, loyalty, or a shared hatred of the Dark One. There was Mara, a former innkeeper whose tavern in Berlon had been burned by Trollocs. Siuan recruited her for her photographic memory and ability to recall faces, voices, and conversations months after hearing them. There was Joran, a disgraced peddler caught smuggling herbs. Siuan saw not a criminal, but someone who knew the back roads of 3 nations like the palm of his hand, and who could carry coded messages and crates of spices without raising suspicion. There was Lila, a servant girl from the White Tower who'd fled the coup. Siuan trained her in cipher and observation, turning her into a spy who could blend into any noble household or Aes Sedai camp. Training was brutal in its simplicity. Siuan didn't teach fancy weaves or grand strategies, she taught survival. She drilled her agents in silent communication taps on tables, coded phrases slipped into casual conversation, messages hidden in hems of clothing, or the hollowed-out cores of apples. She emphasized discretion over daring. A spy who's seen is a spy who's dead, she'd snap, making them practice blending into crowds, avoiding eye contact, and never carrying more than one piece of intelligence at a time. Loyalty was nurtured, not demanded. Siuan remembered birthdays, listened to their fears, and rewarded success with more than gold, with safety for their families, or a chance to right old wrongs. For Mara, it was funding to rebuild her tavern. For Joran, it was a pardon for his smuggling charges. For Lila, it was the promise of a future free from the tower's cruelty. This wasn't just recruitment, it was the forging of a family, one bound by trust, not oaths. The network's agility and effectiveness became clear within months, through a series of early operations that punched far above its weight. The first test came when a dark friend cell in Saladar plotted to poison the rebel Aes Sedai's water supply. Mara, working as a scullery maid in the rebel camp, overheard 2 men muttering about blighting the wells, and recognizing one as a former patron of her tavern who'd openly praised the shadow. She passed the message to Lila, who slipped it into Siuan's hands via a coded note hidden in a loaf of bread. Siuan and Brian acted before dawn. They arrested the cell, seized the poison, and planted false evidence that framed a Red Ajah sympathizer, sowing dissent among the tower's loyalists while protecting the rebels. The operation took less than 12 hours, from tip to resolution, proving the network's speed. A second operation showcased its strategic value. Siuan received word from Joran, who'd intercepted a Sanche messenger near the Aerith Ocean, that the Empire planned to seize a supply of rare healing herbs in Gyaldan. Herbs the rebels desperately needed to treat wounded Aes Sedai. Instead of alerting the rebel leaders directly and risking leaks, Siuan passed the intelligence to Mat Cawthon via a peddler ally, along with the suggestion to secure the Gyaldan spice routes as a cover. Mat's band of the Red Hand arrived just in time to drive off the Sanchan raiders, securing the herbs and unknowingly foiling the Empire's attempt to weaken the rebels. Siuan's network didn't just gather information, it shaped outcomes, using other players as proxies to avoid drawing attention to itself. A third operation demonstrated its subtlety. When the Red Ajah sent agents to Saladar to identify and kidnap